Thank you, Chair. Mr. Lafleur, with all due respect, your investigation in this matter is seriously flawed. You talk about your 15 years of experience working on hundreds of administrative investigations. You highlighted today in your opening statement that your key role is to ensure the integrity of the investigation, procedural fairness, and due process for those under investigation. And those under investigation have been targeted by you as Mr. Cameron McDonald and Mr. Antonio Utano. They're the only two individuals under investigation, and what you have done so far, sir, is done anything but to ensure procedural fairness. So much so that they've retained a lawyer, and a lawyer has brought an action in the Superior Court of Justice, and you, sir, are named as a defendant, as well as the Attorney General of Canada and the CBSA and Aaron O'Gorman, seeking declaratory relief that their rights to participate in this process has been compromised by you. You're aware of that? Right. And sir, you don't have a legal degree, do you?
I do not.
No, and you don't understand the difference between a criminal standard of proof or a civil standard of proof, do you?
I do have some understanding of the difference.
Proof beyond a reasonable doubt on the criminal spectrum, beyond the bounds of probability on the civil spectrum. And you understand the difference between fact and allegation, don't you?
Of course.
Yet I've got access, sir, to your Project Helios preliminary statement of fact for both Cameron McDonald and Antonio Utano, and you interchange the concept of fact, which is a proven entity, and allegation. In fact, the title of the document, Project Helios, Preliminary Statement of Facts. That's misleading, and it's wrong, isn't it, sir? Because these are allegations.
So the report itself is a point-in-time document, right?
Sir? These are allegations. Allegations brought by Bottler AI, yes or no?
There are allegations.
They're not a proven fact, are they?
They are not.
So I would suggest to you, you be much careful in the future as it relates to this investigation and other investigations, that you understand, sir, that the clear difference between an allegation and a fact, because you interchange this throughout your report. And the statement of fact and this preliminary statement of fact was ultimately sent on to the new two departments that Mr. McDonald and Mr. Utonio are employed by, right?
They were.
Yeah, and you expressed serious concerns, notwithstanding that nobody has been interviewed, that Mr. McDonald hasn't been interviewed, that Mr. Utano hasn't been interviewed, that Mindone hasn't been interviewed, that Aaron O'Gorman, the president of the CBSA, hasn't been interviewed. Former President John Osowski has not been interviewed. You've identified a number of key individuals you want to be interviewed, and none of them have provided you with an interview, have they?
I'm not going to speak as to...
Well, I have the information right before me, sir. It's very clear that none of them have agreed to interview with you yet.
If I could add a point of clarification there. So the report was a point in time.
I don't care about point in time.
On December
This
19th.
this is affecting the lives and the livelihood of Mr. McDonald and Mr. Utano.
So, just one moment, Mr. Brock.
Can I ask my colleague, Mr. Brock, allow the witness the same amount of time to respond?
No,
Because
it
I'd
is-
like to hear,
Right.
the line of question is very interesting. I'd just like to hear the response.
I appreciate both of you. Stop. I've stopped the clock, but we've established in this committee it is the members' time. So please continue, Mr. Brock.
You made conclusions that were so significant that you felt that these were proven facts of serious employee misconduct, so serious that you required the RCMP to investigate at least 2 criminal charges, fraud and bribery, and then later on in this report, you declare that there's absolutely no evidence of bribery, as outlined by Bottler AI in their allegations. You remember saying that? That to date there is no evidence of bribery? Did you actually share that with the RCMP? I bet you didn't.
That we have no,
Yeah. Did you share that with the RCMP?
we have provided information to the RCMP.
Did you share the fact that you have no evidence to support the allegation of bribery with the RCMP? Yes or no? It's a simple question, Mr. Lafleur.
I disagree. It's a yes or no question. We have provided.
Answer the question, Mr. Lafleur. Did you advise the RCMP that you uncovered no evidence of bribery? Yes or no?
The RCMP has the evidence that we have collected.
I'm going to interrupt you. We are out of time, but a very straightforward question has been put to you. Could you please respond in a yes or no fashion, Mr. Lafleur?
As to whether I've specifically told the RCMP, we have found no evidence of, I'm just seeking clarity on that.
Could you repeat the question, just a very quick
Certainly,
one?
for
and then
the
we have to go to
sixth
Mr.
time,
Sousa.
I'll repeat the question very slowly and carefully for you, Mr. Lafleur.
And be polite about it.
I will be, Mr. Chair, thank you. Baller AI raised concerns regarding bribery involving Christian Firth and Cameron McDonald. You raised that as a significant concern in your preliminary statement of fact. Paragraph 50 of your report
Mr. Brock, the
indicates that there was no evidence to substantiate the allegation of fraud. My question is, did you share your opinion that this allegation of fraud was unsubstantiated to the RCMP? Yes or no?
That's not what the report says.
Sorry?
With respect, that's not what I say in the
I can-
report.
I can read it out
I'm
to
going
you, sir.
have no
to
evidence?
interrupt. I think we're going to get back to this in the next round, and we will re-clarify. Mr. Sousa, please go ahead.
Thank you for appearing here today. You know, it's infuriating that we have an ongoing investigation. You made clear that you're taking the steps necessary to provide for that investigation so you can have a proper outcome. Some are arguing that you may be withholding information during this process, but in fact, you are taking the necessary steps. What's appropriate to disclose now versus what you're going to come forward with at the end needs to be understood, and I presume the line of questioning is to that effect. However, I also recognize that some of the prosecution efforts that this committee seems to be playing throughout this process, and now they're defending the very individuals that they prosecuted in the past and have made assertions that they have actually been dealing inappropriately and have been dealing in a way that is of misconduct. They've made that assertions. They've actually claimed that others and those individuals themselves have been lying to this committee, and now they're putting you under the gun for the same issue, and yet you're the one doing the investigation. So I'm just trying to comprehend, notwithstanding the antics here, that we get to the truth. And that's what they seem to be wanting, but they're making allegations themselves. And now they're prosecuting those very individuals. Now they're coming back trying to protect those individuals who they themselves have accused of lying. And we're not accusing you of anything. Let's be clear. We want to make certain that the investigation takes its proper course and that the results and the outcome is best understood. And I'm having some difficulty